Hey, Frank. I'm not this knowledgeable in this, but I know where people where they've had the property for a while. It's like an office building or or a business type property, and they've been taking deductions. And I've heard you talk about recapture before. I didn't understand it. Would you be willing to address what a donation could do for them?
Yes. So sometimes many people have an investment property that they may have had for a long period of time. And depending on the sales price and their basis has been adjusted over the years for depreciation that they've taken. And that was what I was referring to as recapture. Let's just use a quick scenario. Somebody buys a property for 100,000, depreciates it down to 50, and then sells it for 100,000. Many times they're thinking they're selling it for that price, that purchase price. There's $50,000 of that's subject to recapture on that transaction, and many times there's hidden gains in business real estate, and really donating property gives an opportunity sometimes to take the full market value donation of that property and then really avoid that tax on that recapture when a transaction is properly structured, using a professional tax advisor, and then a charitable organization such as Driving Successful Lives. It's a great opportunity for people to really give back to the community and maximize any tax benefits that they have, sometimes without those hidden tax traps when you do start to sell property. And that I would say everybody's situation is different. You have to discuss your personal situation, but it's a way to avoid some of those hidden tax traps, because when you sell investment or business property, your gain on that you're going to pay taxes on isn't always the number you think. So when I always advise, look at your opportunities, and working with a charity such as Driving Successful Lives is a great opportunity to really give back. And
I got another question.
okay.
So a real similar. We just had a developer in California, and we're finalizing this transaction. It actually closes on Monday. He had bought two homes. They're on the ocean, knocked the houses down, and well, he's finalizing knocking them down. So he's donating to our charity uh, everything that was valuable to us, like the windows, the wiring, the furnaces, some of the kitchen stuff was excellent. And then we're actually shipping that to another country where they're desperately in need for that. And out of doing that, they got a pretty huge, then they got an appraisal for everything that they put in the containers and that. And it was a really good appraisal, and it's valuable stuff. Now, can you explain the tax benefits when they do something like that?
Yes. Great question. I know you said a developer, and that can really apply to anybody. And in the case you said, he didn't actually knock the property down, but many times people buy a property, have a older home, maybe a historic home, whatever it may be, and to them, they really want to knock that house down and build a luxurious new updated home. But what Marcus was describing is those building materials have a value on there. Some of it might be historic, some of it might just be for the value of the windows. And many of those transactions are structured that you actually disassemble much of that property. So you're retaining those building materials. Sometimes your quote unquote demolition costs might be slightly higher to have it done with care versus sending in the bulldozers. But the tax benefits, when you look at taking the fair market value donation of those materials that you're able to donate to a charity, really outweigh the additional costs. And it's a great opportunity for people that are looking to renovate, update, rebuild. Mark used the example of the developer that he had, but sometimes people might just buy a home and decide in their mind that that's not the home they want to live in. if they use some care and strategize that transaction, it can really open up an opportunity to help people through a charitable organization and also provide them some great opportunity for tax benefits. I always say discuss that this is really of general nature. Everybody's situation's different, but reach out to Mark or myself and we'd love to talk further on that situation. Great opportunity really to help people and change some lives.
I know in the people that we're working with currently, they they did exactly what you said. They a lot of the stuff that you talked about, another scenario where you worked with somebody that did one that the numbers were really huge because they took the whole house apart and
Oh yeah.
disassembled it. So, and that demolition would have maybe cost them 15,000, where it ended up costing them 60,000, but the tax deductions they got were extraordinary. So, that's something I don't think a lot of people realize or know about. Uh,
Yes, I actually work with a lot of developers and investors also, and many times I'll hear that they renovated a property and just sent the bulldozers in. And on one side, we're effectively able to recycle those building materials and many times either recondition, refurbish, and it's a great opportunity for people that need them. There's also a huge market for the historical type building materials that people are always looking for, and there's a lot of great organizations that are able to help various communities with those. So that's why I always just say discuss with someone such as Mark or myself some of the opportunities, and there's things that people have really not been able to take advantage of and be able to give back at the same time.
so if I'm an individual person or I'm an investor or I'm a company, uh, would you do you have it set up so I could just bring the scenario to you and you could like have a 20-minute consultation with me on what I'm doing? And
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. My contact information will be down below, but people can always reach out to me at cpanerd.com, and always have an opportunity to speak with people. I have a online scheduler that they can schedule a 20-minute consultation, and we can discuss and really go from there. But it's a great opportunity to be able to connect with people, and feel free to visit the site, check, and let's get something scheduled and make sure that you're not missing any opportunities.
yeah, I really appreciate you being with me today because every scenario is a little different. So thank you, Frank.
Well, thank you for having me.